Hannah Arendt was born on October 14, 1906, in Hanover, Germany. After graduating from high school in Königsberg in 1924, Hannah began to study theology that fall at the University of Marburg. As the National Socialists grasped power, Hannah became a political activist, and beginning in 1933, helped the German Zionist organization to publicize the plight of the victims of Nazism. She also did research on anti-Semitic propaganda, for which she was arrested by the Gestapo. But when she won the sympathy of a Berlin jailer, she was released and escaped to Paris, where she remained for the rest of the decade. Hannah helped rescue Jewish children from the Third Reich and bring them to Palestine.
While in Paris, Hannah met and married an uneducated communist from Berlin. When the German army invaded France, she was separated from her husband and was sent to an internment camp in the southern France. She later escaped and moved to the U.S. with her husband and mother. They resided in New York. She began writing for various magazines such as Jewish Frontier, arguing for a post-war Palestinian state for Arabs and Jews.
After the Holocaust, Hannah was put in charge of a Jewish cultural reconstruction, which was an effort to locate and redistribute Judaic artifacts that had been lost during the war. One of Hannah's most famous books was The Origins of Totalitarianism, which was published in 1951. In it, she described how embedded racism in Central and Western Europe prior to the war allowed for the tyrannies of Hitler and Stalin and the unspeakable cruelty which was the Holocaust.
Hannah received some skepticism for her book because of the parallels she drew between Nazi Germany and Stalinist Russia. But her argument that the Third Reich was fighting two wars, one against the Allies and another against the Jewish people, was shared by the Jewish community. In 1963, Hannah wrote her most controversial book, Eichmann in Jerusalem. Eichmann was an SS lieutenant colonel who was the mastermind behind the transportation of Jews to the death camps. In 1961, he was tried in Israel, and Hannah was there to cover it for The New Yorker. Her initial commentary was later expanded into a book. In her report of the trial, Hannah coined the phrase, the mentality of evil, which she used to describe Eichmann. She said that he was not crazy or a fanatic, but an ordinary man who accepted what was happening and participated believing it was normal.
Hannah Arendt did not claim to be a particularly religious woman. She was not very popular with the Jewish community because of her claim that Eichmann himself was not a terrible person, even though he did terrible things. Hannah died on December 4th, 1975, at the age of 69, but during her life she managed to provide an insightful look at how the Holocaust was able to occur with support of many German people, despite the fact that it was one of the worst tragedies in the modern world.